No, it's okay. What's up, guys?
What's up?
How have you guys been?
Not bad. How have you been?
I've been fine. I've been working a lot. Connor, how have you been?
I've been all right. I pretty much the same. I've been recording. I mean, not recording. I've been working. It's a fucking train wreck.
You've been recording.
It's funny. It's okay. It's cool.
It's not okay.
Okay. So, I've been actually been having some plans that I've been wanting to do. So, since my birthday's coming up, and remember me talking about that huge hike, the
Yeah, the
Appalachian Trail?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do that. But I don't really have a lot of hiking experience. I mean, I walk a lot and I like to walk. I find it nice, especially out in the wilderness. Um, but that's like a huge walk, like upwards like 3, 5, 7 months that it takes to hike it all. Um,
Yeah, that's like a solid 2,000 miles, isn't
mhm.
it?
Yeah,
It's a solid portion of a year.
2,193 miles, like
Wow.
93.4 or something like that. But yeah. But so since I don't have much experience, I've decided to take a pretty big jump and not just do it right away. I'm doing something to like prepare myself for it. So on next Thursday, I'm gonna find somewhere and I'm just gonna hike it all. I'm gonna find like maybe one of the local trails or something. I'm just gonna walk every inch of it, and see like how that is. And then the weekend after that Thursday, I'm going to I think it's the July 1st and 2nd. Um I'm going to try to find a place to just hike for that whole weekend. I'm going to see if I can find a park or something that's worth going for. I don't know. It's going to be pretty spontaneous, but I have the equipment and stuff for it, so why not?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, another thing I want to get into is biking, but I have to get a bike. So,
Yeah, I own a
I was
bike.
I was thinking about that. It seems it would be a lot easier to bike the Appalachian Trail than it would be to hike it.
I don't know about that because from what I've read about it, the trails
Or it's probably
can,
pretty rugged, I guess.
yeah, it can get pretty bad. You'd probably end up just carrying the bike, and that's more weight.
Yeah. Connor, did you have some input?
No. I
Oh,
mean, I own a bike and I want to get into biking. That was, yeah.
okay. Maybe after I move back down to you guys, we can bike together because I'm hoping to get a bike sometime this summer.
I
Yeah,
have one, I just don't use it.
yeah, I don't have a bike. I have camping stuff, so the hike I feel like is a little bit easier than the bike. I just realized
Maybe.
we've been talking about biking and hiking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely talking about something.
Yeah. I also want to get into kayaking, but that's more of a larger investment, I feel like. Because the kayaks, from what I've seen, they're about $300 on average.
Even like the inflatable ones, like the cheap ones, are still pretty expensive.
Yeah, I haven't even seen those, and I wouldn't even trust those. I'd rather just get it like a solid one. I don't know what
Joel has an inflatable one.
Well, I was gonna say bikes are expensive too.
They are, but they're
About as much as a kayak.
yeah, it's about $150 on average for a bike. If you go for if you go to a bike shop, now that's completely different because I've looked up stuff on both. If you're just looking for a bike, you don't care about like how nice it is, I guess. If you're just like an average biker,
Carbon fiber frame.
if you're just looking for a bike, it's about $150. Like you can just get a decent one at Walmart for that. But if you go to an actual bike shop, there's like Corbin said, carbon fiber frame, like fucking You want them shits to have like an
Disc
actual
brakes.
fucking gear ratio like on point. You want to make sure that nothing's gonna snap and everything is warranted. That's when I've seen bikes go upwards of like $1,200, like 800, 900, 1,200.
Yeah, people spend a lot on bikes.
Yeah.
If you're a biker, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Because yeah, I mean, I imagine that when you do it a lot as like a passion, there's definitely you can feel it, and that's like an investment. And
For
plus,
sure.
the cushions I bet feel amazing. Those are probably like luxury, like cow ass cushions. Like
Some memory foam type shit.
memory foam would get too hot. It's gotta have good breathability. I feel like it'd be
Mhm.
like aerospace gel.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of aerospace gel, nice voice crack.
Nice voice crack, dumbass.
um, so aerospace gel. Is aerospace gel a creation from the government based on research of alien technology?
No.
No?
100%.
It's definitely not.
100%.
Were you there for the research development, Corbin?
I'm not sure. But what are you talking about?
What am I talking about? Conspiracy theories. Let's talk about conspiracy theories.
Okay, I see.
So, what I was going with there is I feel like it's plausible that aerospace gel, along with a lot of other technology that we have, is just a byproduct of the government research on maybe alien technology, Area 51 type stuff, you know?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
possible. I mean, the government does hide a lot of shit, supposedly.
I don't
Area
think it's
51 and all that.
I don't think it's that deep. I think that's one of those like little fun things to have in the back of your mind. Like I don't think it's like actually real. The one thing that I saw recently was people who get really into thinking that the government's always lying to them. If you know
Yeah,
what I mean.
I know what kind of people you're talking about.
Like people who think the fucking FDA, the World Health Organization, the EPA, like they all like are banning like actual like healthy like cure all like this like they're banning the cure to cancer with these natural remedies that are
Yes,
actually
because
sometimes quite dangerous.
Big pharma.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Pharmaceutical companies would lose their shit if there was a cure for cancer.
Which don't get me wrong, I guess I get it, but I for one do not believe that I don't believe in big pharma like that. I do believe in them as a company, and they're trying to do everything in their power to make themselves the most profitable thing possible. But it's not like they're not like a shadow organization.
Well,
In
okay.
my opinion.
Yeah, I think when you get to like, I don't think they would keep a cure from cancer from the public or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they will try to impress their best interests. They are a company that
No,
has,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
yeah, or multiple companies, not just one.
Right, but what I mean by like them not being like a shadow organization, like I don't feel like they regularly like if someone did find the cure to cancer and was trying to publicize it, I don't think that it would be very common to just send a hitman out. But
Well,
maybe I'm
that's not what
wrong.
I meant.
No, that's a no. I'm just saying because that's like that's what some people think. You know?
Yeah.
Does anybody here have any conspiracy theories that they really believe in? Connor, me and Corbin were talking earlier, and I brought up that I don't know any conspiracy theories that you believe in.
I don't really think of this shit often.
You know about like,
Okay.
Not
got
really.
I think you
Corbin,
do,
you
but-
go. I'll have to think about it because I don't.
Corbin, go. What's your conspiracy theory?
I believe that Area 51 contains alien technology that is being withheld from the public.
Yeah, I agree.
You've seen the videos, right?
Do you believe the moon landing was faked?
Okay. The moon landing, no, the moon landing is fake. You can't see the stars in the background, therefore it was faked.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can
Did
see
the
the wind
govern-
blowing the flag. And at
flag
some point,
moved.
a boom arm goes in front of the camera, and you can see a microphone.
Yeah. Oh god. Okay. So
Do you believe in the Illuminati, and do you believe that the Denver International Airport is the Illuminati's headquarters?
Yes.
Okay. No. First off, let me talk about that. Actually, when I was younger, I did believe in the Illuminati. I was like I was pretty confident that there was no way that the world could move this efficiently. So like as efficiently as it is. And then I grew up and realized that the world is chaos. And I stopped believing in that. Nobody's on the same page. Nobody's pulling any strings. Everybody's just doing what they want to do for them.
Yeah, acting in their own self-interest.
Yes.
Maybe not necessarily thinking about how their best interest affects others, but
sometimes that's not really their responsibility, which I get, but just being a good person, you know.
yeah.
Connor, you ever get around to that conspiracy theory, man?
I'm on a conspiracy theories website right now, and I'm
You're
just
really just
I'm reading some weird ass shit right now. Is Bill Gates making fake snow?
Oh my god.
Like
Yes.
seriously. Do you believe in cryptids? Like Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster?
That is valid conspiracy theories. Cryptids. They're like, I think of them in the same way that I think of like ghosts. I think a ghost is like a type of cryptid. And they're fun to think about because you can't, based on their existence, they're technically like gods. You can't prove them wrong by,
Well, you could, but I don't know.
oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're like,
Well,
because it's like they're by definition they're just so elusive that they can just hide from any like measurements that we do basically. So like I said, they're like gods. You can't prove them, but you can't disprove them type shit.
Yeah, I guess. I always kind of just thought of cryptids as, I guess, unexplainable phenomena that people try to explain in ways, and they kind of become folk tales, I guess, and they kind of just get spread around.
I think cryptids by definition are actual like creatures though. They're not just like myths. Like they have
Really?
to be like actual creatures. Yeah, hold on, let me look up the definition real quick. Cryptid.
Like the megalodon would be a cryptid, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, no, because that was an actual animal that existed millions of years ago.
No.
Well, I think it
it's-
would fall under the category nowadays because
Yeah,
people
Corbin.
have long believed it was extinct.
Yeah, people. There's
Oh,
people that
okay, yeah, I
believe
see what
that,
you mean. Yes,
and it
that would
lives
be a
in like
cryptid.
the bottom of the ocean. Like,
I
just
misunderstood.
yeah. Yeah, cryptids are animals that cryptozoologists believe may exist somewhere in the wild, but whose present existence is disputed or unsubstantiated, Jesus Christ, by science. Cryptozoology is a pseudoscience which primarily looks at anecdotal stories and other claims rejected by scientific community.
Rejected by actual scientists
Yeah.
because they're stupid.
Yeah. So like God is technically a cryptid.
Uh,
By
yeah,
definition, God is
okay.
a
By definition, maybe.
the depending on your definition of God, I guess as well. Like if he's like space daddy, like
Well, I don't know. I'm not religious, so I can't really speak for this.
well, from my understanding, there's a couple different ways of people like thinking about God, and usually it's either like he's an actual like omnipotent being that's like just floating in the ether, just viewing us, I guess, and the other is like God as in the actual like being of like nature and like the force of that shit that just happens, like
He
that.
watches you masturbate.
He's always in your room.
I don't want to think of
Think
that.
about it.
I actually used to think of that on purpose because I was like, you know what? If you want to watch me, you sick freak.
Yeah. I mean, he's an omnipotent being. What are you gonna do about it?
Right? Like, I'm not gonna stop myself because I can't stop you. If you're gonna want to watch so bad, watch.
If you want to watch from the fourth dimension, I guess just do it.
As long as I can't see you, you can't. Or yeah, as long as I can't see you, you can't see me in my eyes. No harm, no foul. All right. Corbin, did you give a serious answer to what you believe in? Was
My
it just the Area
opinion of
51?
cryptids. Well, that wasn't really a serious answer. That was just like a.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
was
asking now.
joking.
Do you have a
I believe in the possibility that cryptids exist.
okay?
I believe they're interesting stories, and people gravitate to them for that reason. But I am not. I don't believe in any specific ones.
You don't have any?
But I do think they're interesting.
Are you talking about cryptids or conspiracy theories?
Well, is Bigfoot a cryptid?
Bigfoot would be
Bigfoot is,
considered
yeah.
a cryptid. Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't believe in Bigfoot, but I'm not saying there are some unexplained phenomena that
Mhm.
I don't know.
No, well,
So they could exist. They cannot be disproven. I guess there are legitimate reasons to believe they exist, but it's just not my kind of thing. I guess.
yeah, no, I get it. But that's the thing about cryptids is that because there's so many, you can decide not to believe in one but believe in another.
Yeah, true. That is true.
But what about conspiracy theories? What do you did you have a serious conspiracy theory that you believe in?
I would not say so.
None.
I think I don't know if we want to get political, but I'll get political.
Go for
I
it.
think conspiracy theories can possibly be harmful because they spread misinformation. So I am not a believer of conspiracy theories.
I mean,
Specifically because I think if you believe in one, then you are opening the door to believe in all of them, so you might as well just not believe in any.
okay. I guess saying believe in any conspiracy theories is a little bit misleading. Bad choice of words. Is there any that you entertain? Because you don't have to believe in something to still think that like a conspiracy theory is like fun and that it would be interesting if it was like real. Like you don't have to like live in that conspiracy theory. You can just yeah.
I would like to think that there is a galactic civilization that is watching us And at some point, we will become mature enough as a species that we'll become part of the Galactic Society.
Honestly, that'd be dope.
That would be cool. I
I
don't have
think,
hopes for that one, but
yeah.
you can believe, I guess.
Honestly, for me, I like to entertain the fact, not fact, but the conspiracy theory that the Illuminati exists. I believe that there could be a society above everything else, and they control the majority of the world. I like to think that shit could exist.
It does make the world, looking through that lens, makes the world seem more interesting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I think that's the majority of conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Do you believe that conspiracy theories are just made up by the government so people can question reality?
Yeah.
I believe birds were invented by the government to spy on people.
Hell yeah.
Birds
Fucking
aren't real.
100%.
One of my serious, well, as a serious answer, but one that I like to entertain is I believe that this is all a simulation.
Like you're
I
living in the
have-
Matrix?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, I've
basically.
considered that one too.
Because
But I mean,
I-
given how far that these AIs have gotten, I wouldn't consider. I wouldn't dismiss that.
I don't even consider shit like that because all I have to think about is if I can, if there's like ever a possibility, which I feel like there's is, that we can trick our brains into living into another world, then there's sure shit a way that it can be used against us. And if that's a possibility, then it's just as likely that we could just be sitting here in a pool of our own whatever this is. And well, like I just, for me, I refuse to believe. It's not even like I believe in that conspiracy. Like it's just something that I entertain. But one thing that I will say is that I refuse to believe that this is the way that life is and has to be. It makes me very angry when I think about it. So I try not to. Life is just very, in my opinion, disappointing. Like as not life, I shouldn't say life, existence. Like if you think of, if you look at things very individualistically, I don't even know if that's a real word, but I feel like it gets the point across. um, but with that point, if you look at it that way, I feel like it's beautiful. But when you look at the collective of everything that happens, it's just so chaotic and arguably bad. A lot of nature is just kind of mean and violent, and I don't like living in a violent existence. So that's why
Well,
yeah.
intelligent beings were not designed to live. We were not meant to for this world, I guess.
Yeah. Consciousness was too much.
Yes. We should have just stayed as stupid apes swinging on trees.
Fucking revert. Press the back button.
Yeah, I want to be monkey. Nature is cruel, though.
Yeah, just a little bit. I don't blame
So
nature
is
for it though.
humanity.
Yeah, but that I kind of, I don't even know, like that's like an anomaly to me. I still like humanity when I look at it as a whole is really just violence for the sake of violence. Like there's a lot, again, if you look at it individualistically, there's so much good shit. But when you look at the wide amount of bad shit that just sometimes only one person can do, it's nuts. It's really mind-boggling. So that's another thing that I refuse in, and that's why I refuse to accept this as reality. So I am searching for my own reality.
I feel like a lot of people are like that.
Yeah.
They didn't ask to exist. They're just trying to do what they can, make their lives better.
Yeah. The only point in living, I guess.
Yeah.
Since you don't have a say in it, might as well make the best of it. Type
Life
shit.
has no purpose, so you might as well make a purpose.
Yeah. I don't like that. Sometimes some people are just built to, like, for me, for example, I feel like I would be a lot happier if I was just told what my existence was. I would just fulfill it. You know, if that's where I'm supposed to go, that's where I'm supposed to go. At least I can get there, you know? But,
That's definitely why people are religious.
yeah.
Because life is much, it's much easier to know you're gonna go somewhere when it's all over.
I mean, that's something, but I don't think religion takes it a little bit weird because I feel like when you try to convert people and then tell people that don't want to convert that they're bad, which not all religions do that. There's a couple religions that I feel like that I would like to get into, but since I'm not that side of spiritualism, I haven't gotten into that. But if I ever did decide, there's a few religions that I would look into. Like
Scientology, is it a cult?
Yeah, that's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say a cult, but yeah, a pyramid scheme.
Religion
Yeah,
in
not a
general,
cult, but
is it a cult?
that's religious in general is a very, I would say certain religions, not going to be specific, could be considered cults,
Mm.
but they're not quite. They might like blur the line, like they're not fully cults, but they have cultish qualities.
Yeah.
Yep. Trying to get that question off my chest for a while.
I bet, man. And a moment of silence for our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends.
We can't put that in.
No, it can be cut out. It can be cut out.
Should put a Raid Shadow Legends ad in the middle of our podcast.
Oh god.
I think that's kind of funny though.
Yeah. Imagine though. Episode 2, we have a Raid Shadow
Fucking
Legend ad.
Raid Shadow Legends fucking sponsor.
Okay. So on to my next topic. There's no good segue from what we were just talking about to this, but the Russian rebellion from the Ukraine-Russia war, we now have a Russian rebellion from a particularly apparently like important division, like mercenary division called the Wagner.
It's a militia.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the Wagner Group, which is led by a guy.
Their leader, I think.
Yeah, the Wagner Group. The leader's name is Yevgeny Prigozhin. Prigozhin, something like that. Yeah, Yevgeny Prigozhin. He declared a march onto Moscow, and then announced for Russian forces to change sides and join the Wagner Group. And apparently it was pretty successful from what I heard. But they recently just stopped when I found out about this a few hours ago. They recently stopped and about 120 miles outside of Moscow. And apparently the leader, Yevgeny, he wanted to negotiate for something. I don't think it's been said yet. I could probably look it up. Maybe it's updated, but as of a couple hours ago, it was not. But they turned back. The Wagner Group turned around, saying that they decided not to shed Russian blood. So, interesting turn of events.
Yeah, very.
probably a decent turn of events. Would you say that's a good turn of events?
I don't know. Apparently, Yevgeny is a pretty bad dude. I tried to look up his like war crimes and shit, but most of it I couldn't find much. It's just him being a part of wars, which I mean, he is a leader of a pretty decent war division, I guess, militia. Uh, but yeah, so I don't know, because apparently all of Russian forces, upon the declared march on Moscow, all Russian forces like just dipped back to Moscow and decided to surround there instead of keeping up even forces in Ukraine and stuff. Getting pretty wild. I don't know if it's good because I don't know what possibly.
I guess
I
all
I
we
I think
can do is just sit and watch
yeah.
what unfolds.
Watch our government give them more money.
Yeah. Great.
Ukraine.
Not saying that's good or bad. It's could be there are arguments for either side of that argument.
Yeah.
But I think the war in Ukraine should just it has to reach a resolution at some point.
It definitely will, but from what I'm seeing, it's been at a resolution for a while. It's just it feels like a weak guy just it's like like when someone's like a bully like holding the forehead of a little kid just swinging his arms trying to hit the bully type shit. And it's just like
Yeah.
Russia's not going anywhere. Like, but Ukraine isn't like I don't know if they're fighting to gain any territory. I think they're just trying to keep their own, and that seems to be what's happening. And that's kind of what's happening. It's just that, and with apparently the little that Putin has, even they're just willing to turn against him. So he literally basically has nothing. I don't
That's
know.
good.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Well, I think Putin should be removed from power.
That's not gonna happen though.
Putin had vowed
Who knows?
to punish.
It might.
Putin had put out a public like declaration saying that he was going to punish the Wagner Group because they were insurgents, terrorists, inciting resurrection or not resurrection, whatever, you know what I mean. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen now because is he just going to walk back on that?
I don't know.
Was that the deal that was made? Was it just like he'll turn like I'll turn back if you don't want to kill me? Like I'll like I don't know because it feels like he was losing already. I don't know.
I honestly don't know enough about the situation.
Well, I don't either.
It's very current events. It's like yesterday and today.
There's a lot happening, man. It's both a lot and nothing. Just happening all the time.
Yep.
And all this came like immediately after the submarine shit, which is a whole nother thing.
Yeah, a lot could be said about that.
And that could be said. You guys in basically it was just a carbon fiber, part titanium boat. So it just splintered when it broke.
Apparently, it was weakened by repetitive wear, and they actually had an auditory system that was designed to listen to the carbon composite part of the submarine and tell when it was breaking because of the sounds it was making.
Mm-hmm.
And the submarine actually dropped its ballast and tried to come back up to the surface.
I did hear
But
about
as
that.
they were returning to the surface, it collapsed.
Yep. And that's what I was telling you earlier about it when we talked. That boat has been on other trips before that. Like I said, like it was like that.
Yeah,
That was like its
several.
fourth or fifth trip.
Mm-hmm. But there are not a lot of studies that say whether carbon composites are good against compressive forces. It's very good against tensile forces.
Yeah.
But the forces that
I don't think that guy really cared about the reading on it. He just
no,
thought, "Oh, carbon fiber strong. I
yes,
use."
exactly. Just wanted to make a cheap submarine.
Yeah.
Probably overcharge people too.
He really trusted that shit though. That like it gives the same energy as that guy who shot himself
How
with his
many?
shot like his own created uh armor with like a 357 Magnum, but the 357 Magnum went through it and he killed himself. Gives the same energy.
Yeah, or the people who try to see if an AR-15 could go through a dictionary by holding a dictionary in front of their body and then shooting an AR-15, and it went straight through the dictionary and killed the person holding it.
Yeah. A lot of people are
How
not
many
smart.
tours did that submersible go on before it
Several.
collapsed? Several.
Yeah, it collapsed due to repetitive stress. So like going up and down a bunch of times.
Mm.
I don't know the exact number.
Like I said, I think
Dakota
about
said 11
no.
originally.
Yeah, I don't remember where I got 11 from, but I think it was 4 or 5. We can literally Google it, man.
Yeah, true. Didn't even think about that.
Hold on. How many did Titan make? 19-year-old passenger on Titan submersible was terrified to go. He went because he wanted to spend time with his dad for Father's Day.
That just makes me feel sad.
Mm-hmm.
That
It's a
is
very sad situation
horrible.
all around. What's even more sad is the refugee ship that capsized off the coast of Italy, I believe, and killed like
I believe it was Syria.
dozens of people. And it's not being covered at all by the media, and not nearly as much as this sub.
Yeah, I believe it was 400 people on the boat.
Because
Yeah.
it has something to do with the Titanic.
And rich people. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
But I don't feel like that was the only reason. The rich people made it a big story because of how stupid it was. Whereas, honestly, sadly, hearing about refugees capsizing, I feel like I'm not surprised that that's like a common thing that happens actually because of illegal immigration. Which is why
I believe immigration should be easier.
I agree.
But because people are endangering their lives to get to a country, you might as well.
It's literally the same like discussion on like abortion. And if we did have more open borders, we would be able to, commingle more and become, the soup pot of the world. Like, why does everything have to be so purist? Like,
melting pot. We kind of already are the melting pot of the world.
I meant the world can be the melting pot of the world just as soon as.
True.
Like, I know Poland is pretty bad about wanting to be white.
Or just, I'm not gonna go into this.
There's other places that prefer to keep their ethnicities, which is very strange to me. What
It's
are
like
you
a
gaining?
cultural identity.
But the cultural identity is because of the place that you're at. Why can't people move there, learn the cultural identity, and also like it create like there's so much thing that can be created, and it's created off of your shit as a base. I don't know. It
Yeah, I
seems
don't know.
more greedy and selfish than actual like human progress. You know, that's how I see
Well,
it.
that could be the case, but there are some places in
Greed
the world are
is
better than others.
what I was gonna say is greed is massive.
Greed is a very big
Like,
thing. I don't know if it's a
and it's
survival
very
trait.
unfortunate that is a thing, but
It's
Yeah.
just human nature to be greedy, to act in self-interest above the interests of others.
Yeah. But again, like stuff again like that, like what is gatekeeping your culture like gain for you? That's always been my thing. Like you get nothing out of it other than, oh yeah, this is
Well,
mine, I guess.
people believe that if people interfered with their culture, then they would eventually lose their culture. And that is a lot that's happened in other parts of the world.
Yeah, but that's usually like forceful. But like if we like
A lot of it was because of colonialism.
uh-huh. But I'm talking about actually like governing your own state, having your own culture, but allowing people to come in. Because what happens is those people come in, you learn their culture, and like as they grow and get stuff, like you're not gonna have like when you're dead and gone. Of course, it's not gonna be the same like culture anymore because new people are coming in, new people are growing. It'll just happen a little differently and probably a little faster.
Yeah.
I don't see it as bad. I'm not saying we should force people to just switch their shit. I'm saying let people be people. Like let people come in, try to start a family and work and do their own thing cuz more than likely like that's a pretty common thing is people like gain the uh what's it called? Like they start to be like they start to be ingrained with the culture. They start doing things that the actual native people at that country and stuff do. So if you just let people exist there, as long as they're not being like oppressive and fucking weirdos, and they're just trying to be people in your country, then nothing like weird like that will happen, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
No, you haven't really had a take on it. What do you think would happen?
I think it's a complicated, like most issues, it is complicated, and a lot of things could happen.
Mm-hmm. But what would you think if you took a guess, as I did? What do you think would happen? I'm not saying this
I
is
think
something that would.
people are they should be allowed to keep their cultural identity, and I guess I don't really know what the case is for Poland, but there are a lot of Jews in Poland, and that's kind of a dying. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because of anti-Semitism, things like that.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to preserve what they have left.
I don't think anything I said was saying that people shouldn't have their cultural identity. But the thing is that cultural identity is subjective.
Yeah, fair.
And a lot of people, again, like defend it violently. And that's what I'm talking about. If people aren't being violent, then there shouldn't be violence inflicted. If people are just trying to be people and like if they're embracing your culture, why is that a problem? Just because they're a little different.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what culture white people had before like black people started being introduced in the populace, but I don't think much really changed. I think that there was a melding of two cultures, probably a little taking, but
I don't think it's as much of an issue in the US, at least today, because people already kind of embrace it's kind of the cultural identity of Americans to uh, be accepting of other cultures, if you know what I mean. But
Right.
obviously, there are some people who don't believe that, but that is what I think.
But that's what I'm also talking about is why. What I'm saying is why are we defending the violence of that? Like, again, people are allowed to have their cultural identities. All right, I'm not gonna lie. I forgot what you said.
I
So
forgot what I said too. It's fine. We should probably move to a different topic.
yeah, I guess I don't think it's that bad.
I don't think any of us are educated enough on this to be able to talk about it and broadcast it on the internet. That's my opinion. But
hmm. With how much I feel like a lot of this just feels like nobody's answering what's being said to them, I guess.
yeah, I don't really want to because I don't want to. I don't want to be the arbiter of misinformation because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Then use information you know, man.
I don't know a lot about this subject, so I haven't been saying a lot.
The way that I've been using my information, have I said anything that you feel like is false?
No, but I feel like the way we're speaking makes us sound ignorant. We're not ignorant, but maybe have the right idea, but don't fully know what we're talking about. I don't know.
What I think, uh, I'll just say what I think about this. I feel like and then we can move on. I think you're trying to please. I guess. I guess what you're trying to think is.
I don't want to sound stupid, is what it is.
But
And I
again,
don't think.
if you don't say like crazy whack shit, you won't. I don't feel like I've said anything stupid or inherently. I've been talking about feelings mainly. Like, what is the problem with people being, or why should we agree with people being violent to embrace their culture? I don't think that's like a very inflammatory thing to ask. It's talking about why should we react to one reaction. It's not like we're talking about why should Jews exist. I don't feel like
Yeah.
that's what I was getting at. Is that I feel like, which I understand. It sounds like you're trying to get the most amount of people to not be offended as to enjoy the
No,
podcast.
it's not even that.
Oh, really?
It's just it's fine. Don't worry about it. I will cut out this entire section.
Well, let's just knock it out since we're already here.
No, I'm good.
But why? Is it that deep for you?
No, it's just I don't
I'm
even
just
know how
trying
to
to
explain it.
understand.
This is not what I thought the podcast would be. We are like basically we're talking about issues we are not educated in.
I'm just
It's like
talking.
yes,
And we
I
didn't.
know,
This
but
wasn't even in the topics. This wasn't even in the topics.
I know.
So we kind of just ended up here.
I think we should discuss topics that we are knowledgeable in.
That's fair.
Finding those topics might be difficult, but
Yeah. And again, technically this is stuff that we kind of just talk about. So if we just recorded everything that we talked about, I feel like a lot would just be cut out. And again, I think you're focusing too much on the podcast, which I guess I understand. But we should just try to knock stuff out, and we'll focus on the stuff that needs to be cut out after the podcast is recorded.
okay. I don't know how much is going to be cut out at this point. We'll see though.
Well, a lot's been needed to be dragged out, I feel like.
What topic are we going to next?
Well, I'm out of topics. My last topic
We're
was
at
the
50 minutes.
yeah, and I feel like 15 of those was just on all that.
We could maybe just find a way to wrap it up and then have probably a decent 45 minutes of usable stuff.
Maybe we'll figure it out. Yeah. Let's wrap it up then.
Sorry, I haven't said like a lot.
Well,
That's fine.
apparently I'm really bad at getting on really touchy subjects, so
No, I'm just not comfortable with talking about it. Is all it is.
those are both problems, I guess. So they're
Are they?
acknowledged. I don't know. Why did you bring it up? I think what I was saying about myself is a problem. So I felt like what you were saying was a problem with yourself, and I was just
I
acknowledging.
don't see it as a problem.
Okay, well,
I just thought I was, I guess, explaining myself.
I think I don't know what I think yet. We'll find out. I think finding again the rhythm with the podcast, because
Yeah.
it seems again every time a lot of stuff is just the
We
thoughts.
we didn't really plan a lot.
I mean,
think.
we did plan a lot, but I feel like a lot of it is stuff that just wasn't foreseen.
I feel like
Hindsight's
it'd be better
2020.
if some of the other boys were here and not just the three of us.
It
That's
definitely
true.
would.
If Chris was here, if Chris was here, if Joel was here,
Joel, yeah.
and
Even Cabe, yeah.
even Cabe. I mean, I feel like if we had more people on that, we would have a lot more opinions that we can.
Ping pong around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I feel like the conspiracy theory section of this went really well.
Yeah,
I still feel
it
like
definitely did.
I still feel like this was a decent episode.
Yeah.
Maybe not as good as the first episode.
No, we just hit a little different snag.
Yeah,
Corbin,
there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that though.
try to keep in. I don't know how we're gonna
I
get
can
this.
keep in most of it.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say try to keep it as much as you can, because I feel like
When are we ending the recording?
even though our conversation didn't go how it was supposed to, I feel like it still brings out a personality of us that I feel like people might be interested in.
I was thinking the same thing. And it at least shows that we care, I guess.
Yeah. What were you saying, Connor? I'm sorry.
When are we ending the recording, or are we going to do a outro?
The outro is when we leave the corner.
Ah.
Yeah. That's how our recordings go.
Gotcha.
I have to take this over to Resolve and split the audio tracks up. All right. Well, I guess are we done?
I guess so.
Yeah.
You got nothing else?
Not that I can think of.
All right. Well, there's episode 2.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
And in the future, I will, since I'm not really explaining the issue I have, I will try to come up with some topics of my own that I think are acceptable, I guess. And we could, I guess, kind of, we could have more than one person selecting topics, I think.
Yeah.
Or at least
That's what we've
suggesting
been
them.
talking about. Yeah.
Yep.
That's another that I feel like I've said this before, but this is why I keep talking to you guys about the topics that I have. And I did switch topics already once because I'm just not finding the topics that you would like.
Well, it's fine. You can pick your own topics, but you seem to like talking about touchy subjects.
Touchy. I don't find them touchy,
In
but
my personal opinion,
yeah,
but maybe
but-
I'm just soft.
I think another thing is that it's fine to have more than one person picking topics. Again, this is something that we've already talked about doing before.
Well, not on the podcast, but yeah.
Before the podcast, when we were planning everything.
Yeah.
It was a pretty big thing that we talked about, and then we ended up switching it up. But yeah, with all of it, I think it's fine. All right. Are we dipping?
Yep.
Yup.